Yo, this is Talker E. Welcome to the locker room where we talk nothing but basketball. To be part of our daily basketball conversations, you have to be part of the team. In order for you to be part of the team, you have to be part of the locker room. In order for you to be part of the locker room, you have to subscribe. So hit that subscribe button and share the video to not only be part of the locker room and the team, but to also be a part of our daily basketball conversations. Yesterday's games in the NBA, one, there wasn't a lot of games. It was like 3 games, and two, they were pretty mid. I mean, there were some crazy things that happened, but for the most part, it was pretty mid. Let's go ahead and start off with the Knicks Pistons game. How did the Knicks score 140 on the Pistons? I think the Knicks are the first team to be able to smoke the Pistons and not allow them to stay in the game and compete, because the Pistons are a bunch of big body, scrappy players, and they just, find a way to stay in the game, and they bang you up and all that stuff. And the Knicks somehow found a way to beat them by like 30 points. It was 140 to like 110. And for the Knicks to come out and put up 140, they're not the best offense in the game. So for them to come out and put up 140 is insane. Julius Randle had 36 points. And the rest of the team has been, pretty decent. They gave them like a couple, some of them had like 16-point games, 15-point games. Mitchell Robinson had like 13 rebounds. Emmanuel quickly came off the bench, getting 15 points. They did everything, decently. And bro, RJ Barrett needs to pick it up, bro. It's very underwhelming. Like everybody's talking about Jordan Poole. We all talk about, all these underwhelming players that got a contract. But RJ Barrett is one of them, bro. If he doesn't pick it up, this is a bad contract, at least for this year. Julius Randle came out, did what he was supposed to do. I would like to see this more consistently from the Knicks, but I just feel like it's not gonna happen. The Pistons also did not have Cade Cunningham, but you know, regardless, they always play the same way, so it doesn't really matter. The Knicks came out, did the impossible, and that's all that mattered. They won the game, and there's not too much to say about that game. Our next game, the LA Clippers Trailblazers game, bro. Can Damian Lillard please come back, bro? Dame needs to come back for this team to win. I mean, they're going against the Lakers today, and they might lose, bro. They need Damian Lillard because Anthony Simons cannot do it all, bro. I mean, he had like 37 points. Jeremy Grant had like 23. The rest of the team just underwhelming, bro. I mean, a lot of them had double doubles and stuff like that, but it was super underwhelming. And they lost to the Clippers without Paul George, without Kawhi Leonard. Like none of these players were playing. The heavy guys were not there, and the Clippers did make it to 8th seed last year without their star players. So it is a very deep team, but at the same time, it's like they need Damian Lillard back for the Blazers. They had Reggie Jackson give them a 24-point double-double. Reggie Jackson came on, had 12 assists. 12 from Reggie Jackson. 12 assists from Reggie Jackson is insane. He's not a point guard. He's not really like a passer. So to allow him to have 12 assists and 24 points, the Blazers defense is already garbage. But that's why they need Damian Lillard, because he's not going to play, great defense or help it at all. But he's going to, cover up for those mistakes with his offensive play, with his scoring. And he might actually be injured, but please, bro, they need him back. And then, our last and final game, the biggest game of the night, the Dallas Mavericks Golden State Warriors game. This game was so entertaining from beginning to end. It was, super high, like, competition. It was a lot, expectations on this game from me. I wanted Luka to show up. I mean, he's had a couple of, good games, but they've been mid for his standpoint, for, what the Mavericks need from him in order for them to win. Because we all know their defense is garbage. They can't play defense. So They needed him to come out and do something crazy like they've done it for the last couple of games, and he delivered. Luka came out and had 41 points and a triple double. And he also had 21 or more points of his 41 come out in the second half. In the second half, on top of that, Luka went to the free throw line 10 times in the first quarter. He averages 11 free throws for a game. Per game, he averages 11. The Warriors, for some reason, cannot defend without fouling when they're on the road. And their starting lineup, besides Steph Curry, was garbage this game. It was terrible. And you know that their starting lineup is terrible when they depended on their bench to keep them in the game. And their bench has been underwhelming this year. Jordan Poole came out. He scored. Jonathan Kuminga came out. And he actually had good PT. Anthony Lamb came out. He hit like back-to-back threes. He did a lot for them. And, besides Steph Curry, the starting lineup was super underwhelming. They did not perform like they were supposed to. Clay hit a three late in the game, but he only had 5 points. Steph went off for 32, but it just wasn't enough. Draymond Green had like 12 points, but his playmaking and stuff like that, it wasn't what we always expect from him. And I'd rather Draymond play make than score. Andrew Wiggins tried, but it was not it. Kevon Looney, obviously we know, he's not like that big of a factor on this team. But when it comes to rebounding and, holding down the center position for them, he is a big factor. And I feel like he didn't do what he was supposed to do. I feel like he could have did way more. And that's just me. Like, honestly, I feel like the whole team just underwhelming besides the bench. And they started to lock in, play defense or whatever. And there were just a bunch of fouls. And then they couldn't stop Luka. And then at a certain point, it's like whoever they put on Luka just did not matter. Like, he would just hit step back threes. He'll get to the basket. He'll pass it. I mean, the man had like 41, 12, and 12. And Spencer Dinwiddie got ejected in the fourth quarter. So Luka came back and they still found a way to win. Tim Hardaway Jr. came out, had 22 points. And a lot of those 3-point shots that he made, he was fouled on. The Warriors gave up 4-point plays. You do not foul a 3-point shooter. And we expect this Warriors team to, fix it and, get things to work. But we're 1/4 into the season. How much longer are we going to give them? To All-Star Weekend? That's 3/3 into the season. But, I mean, they're still in it. Like, they're still in the hunt for, the top seed. So, if they could string together like 6-10 wins right here, everybody will forget about these first 20 games. They need to get it together. The Mavericks, a lot of 3-point shooting, and that's what they always depend on, is the 3-point shooting. If the threes are not falling for the Mavericks, it's GG's. And that's what's bad for them. It's like they need threes and they need Luka to have a monster game. And they need Luka to go crazy. And yesterday, both of them came in their favor. But it's not always going to come in their favor, and they need to find a way to figure it out. Christian Wood gave them like 4 points. 4 points from Christian Wood. I don't know, man. Y'all let me know what you guys think below. Enough of me rambling. There's not much to say about this game anymore. It is what it is. What happened, happened. And this is Real Talk with E. It's time to leave the locker room. I'm going to catch ya. Safety.